Hi, Vicky. How are you? Hey, I saw some of your quilt cards on the one of the quilt Facebook pages. I love quilt cards. I just don't do them a lot. Hi, Shirley. It's good to see you up this morning and on. Got a lot of hi. Read this from Facebook users. Hi, everybody. I won't know who you are until I click off of here and go back over to the um Facebook page. You have a slippery morning here. We were supposed to. They said we could have icy rain overnight and it'd be slick this morning, but we just had pure rain, which I'm thankful for. Um, Not having any slick roads, or at least not where I'm at. Don't want slippery roads, that's for sure. I did my card last night. I decided I had seen this card on YouTube, I think, and I thought I want to make a card with the deckled circles with this, and I got my card all done last night and I realized I didn't even do any stamping on it. None whatsoever. Hi, Mary Lou. um, Lots of snow. Surely I don't want lots of snow. Our snow's about melted. It got, I think, to like 40 yesterday. And now it rained overnight and it's raining right now. We're supposed to get a lot of rain the next 3 days. So it'll all be gone, which is fine with me. I don't care not to have snow for a while. I was waiting a few minutes to make sure anybody's coming on. Oh, well, yeah, that would be nice. Doesn't help the solar panels if they're full of snow. Never thought about that. That wouldn't be fun. But anyway, um, I'm just going to jump into the card. You guys know that the new catalogs are in. That's still celebration. So every $50 you spend, you get to pick something from the catalog. There are items in there too that if you spend $100, you get to pick that item. It's a little bit more costly, a little bit more in depth, I guess, stuff. So, anyway, that's going on. They'll be bringing out two more new kits next month. Don't know what those are yet. So, don't know any much else that's really going on right now except for all that stuff. And of course, my fundraiser. I will let you guys know that my fundraiser went really well. I sold 23 kits in 8 days. I thought that was really pretty good. Uh, and then this Saturday, for anybody that bought a kit, can come to my church. I'll be sending an email out to you if you bought kits to let you know about that. The local people can come and we'll put our kits together. So, anyway, well, Joyce, I'm glad. I hope your doctor's appointment went well. Um, we have that to do tomorrow and Thursday. That's our days for doctors. And hello, Holly. Holly's here. We got quite a few people here. So I'm going to jump right in. And so I'm going to change my screen to the bigger so you can see the cards. There we go. Let it focus a minute. I did it two different ways. This is what I saw. Wasn't with this paper or anything. I did it a little bit different, but this is mainly what I saw on YouTube, and I think her name is Kim, either McGillis or Gillis, something like that. But anyway, she had done a series of cards a little while back, and she had used the deckled circles, and I really liked it. It's hard to see, but that is a deckled cut around the edge of it. And I use scrappy strips, which is a fun thing to always do. You saw that card on YouTube too. Well, then I went ahead and did it. I went ahead and did some embossing, put a color behind it. which I like that really well too. And I just wanted to show the difference between the two papers and how different that makes the card look. And I have to tell you, I used these dies called Wanted to Say. I've had them for a long time, probably not long after they came out, and it's the first time ever using them. And I have to say, I really like them. So, um, we're going to go ahead and make these cards. I've actually got 3 cards cut out. We're not going to get to all 3 of them, but I had a last minute thought about doing a masculine card with it and actually doing a colored card base. So that's what I'm going to do first because I don't have one made like that. Here's my host code and my store if anybody needs that. I always forget to mention that, but it's there. And I'm also using the Deckled circles. And when we use these, I'll just go ahead and tell you now since I got the dies out. We'll use the 4th one in. So you would count 1, 2, 3, 4. And it will be this one right here. That's what size we're going to be using. Now you can use any size you want to make something like this. It would work. But this one makes a good size circle for that, especially if you're going to put a mat under it and you can still see it. So we're going to be using that. And of course, if you want to know, I used one of the online exclusives. This is the embossing folder I used for here. So, okay, let's get started. We're going to move these guys over. I got my stuff cut, ready to go. And I can't believe I'm doing a card with no stamping. No stamping whatsoever. That's crazy. These are my pieces to cut out. I'm actually going to cut a happy birthday out of these to go on this card. So what you start out with is what I did with those is 4 1/4 by 11. Scored at 5 1/2. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold that and get that out of the way because we're not going to need it right now. And then the only other piece you're going to need is a 3 by 5 in my PDF. And I do have the PDF. And I went by what she had cut her strips. She cut them 1 by 6, but she was using a 6 by 6 paper pack. And so I cut this paper down to 6 by 6 and did it. Well, you have like 3 inches left. You could do small circles with that. And anyway, so this one I cut, and those were cut 1/2 inch by 6. I cut these 1/2 inch by 4, so I have enough overlay, and I'll cut that off. So anyway, you could, if you're using 12 by 12, it's more economical to cut it in 4s. You'll have 3 sections of 4-inch pieces, and then you could cut from there and get a lot of stuff out of it. I am going to lay one of my craft mats down to glue with this because I am not the neatest gluer. And also, I cut this piece, it's Misty Moonlight, the same as my card base, because it is raised a little bit. So I think that white might have showed against that at the back. So I cut that the same color as my card base. You don't have to do that, but if you want to, it's there. Now these I'm going to just pick up randomly. I'm not going to, of course I got to turn some of them over so I can see what all I have and see what I want. But this is going to be my little manly card. And how I did it is I just, on the 3 by 5 piece, I just squirted my glue out, and I didn't do a lot at a time, but I want to make that stay down, especially around the edges since we're going to be cutting it. So and I'm going to be picking these up pretty random. I'm not going to try to get 2 alike together, but I will go randomly. And I need some masculine cards, and I have a lot of fishermen in my life. So, and then I'll just move up, just basically what we do with the Scrappy strips anyway. And some of my strips might not be the exact same size, and I'm not worried about that. I think that just gives it more, what do I want to call it? Not dimension, but character. Give it more character. Put a fishing pole here. I like the looks of this card as far as being able to do some quick cards, maybe. Like how I just randomly pick up paper. Need some fish. It'll work. He will work. I got 2 pieces here. Quietly doing this. Not that I mean to be quiet, but I am. As I got my fingers stuck on there. I want a piece of the blue to bring out the blue in my card. And you do want to make sure you get this pressed down good so that you can butt those seams up and they don't go in under each other. I like the Gone Fishing paper too. I think it's one of my favorites. Well, here's a small little piece. I must have... I don't know how I got that one small, but I did. And I want this big long fish up here. I like him. I don't know that I'll get much of him when I cut it, but okay. So now you can see I got like especially one of them off. I'll trim that edge up because this edge is what, whoops, goes right here. So I will trim that up as I get going here. I'm going to move these out of the way for a minute. Yeah, I am. Jeez, have too many strips, but I cut me a bunch because I want to make a few of these cards and have them on hand. Okay, let me get my paper trimmer because I forgot to set it next to me. And I want to get I buried my paper trimmer. I've been making so many cards. Well, not so many. I can make 2 extra in a week, and that's a lot for me. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my paper trimmer in. And I'm first going to trim this edge. I'm just going to stick it in there and trim a little bit of that off. Just to make me a nice straight edge with my papers. And then I'm going to turn it over and line that up. I do this on my guillotine trimmer more. But this will work. I just want to trim these little edges off. Don't know that I would save those for anything, but it works. So there's my little piece of paper trimmed. So now what we're going to do is bring in the, I'm going to move this stuff. We're going to bring in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and we're going to cut our circle. So let's get our circle. And like I said, it's the 4th one from the outside. Bring in, oh, this, I have to bring in the big one, and it is so darn heavy. But And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this up and I'm going to, I line this up all the way to the back as far as I can. And then it'll fit on the edges. So you just want to make sure that it's in line. See how much I just left a tiny edge? And then I'm going to put that in, and the table's going to shake, and I'm sorry about that. Here we go. And since I'm running it through with cardstock and designer series paper with glue, I'm running it through twice. And let me get that off. I'm leaving this up here. We're going to cut our, and there we have our deckled. Can you see the deckled edges on there? I don't know if you can tell, but you can see it in person, which is important. Then I'm going to take, as soon as I can get them, my words, and I'm going to do happy birthday. And I don't know if you guys have these and used them. They've been in the catalog. I just never used them, and for whatever reason, I don't even know. But I'm going to cut both pieces out at one time. And the solid piece is going to be out of the very vanilla, and it will fit on there, thank goodness. And then the happy birthday out of my mossy meadow. And I'm going to stand up and make sure that I don't get that off to where it doesn't cut. There we go. Now we're going to cut these through. And because that happy birthday is really intricate, I'm going to run that through twice. Come back with it. We should be done with that. Should be done with that. I like to do cards that are a little bit different. And of course, you guys know I do love scrappy strips to do too. So this was like an added bonus to me. So there's my happy birthday on the solid end. Put my die back in where it goes. And then there's my happy on the thing. My birthday's still in the die. So we'll peel this guy up first and knock out the little pieces. There's just a couple. We'll set him off with that one, and I'll get this birthday out of here. Clean out my die. Do you guys clean out your dies because they cut better if you keep those little dots and everything cleaned out of there. So we just have a couple that stayed in here, like so. Then my thing is so messed up, and I need to look how nasty my mat is. Oh. But I don't want to open up a new package of those. It just is like, oh, I can't do that yet. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is glue my happy birthday on here. Let me bring this back in. As I told you, I'm messy. And I just used the glue bottle since I have the micro tip glue bottle. And added the glue on my happy birthday. Just want to make sure I get it to stick down where it needs to stick. Don't want it popping up. So I'll just lay that in there. Okay, we have happy. Let's do birthday. You could use the adhesive back, like sticky paper, and put that like on your piece of cardstock, and then run your dice through it and make them a sticker. I find this is just as fast if you have one of these bottles. So that's why I do this. Plus, I'm not just a rebel. So what I got to do, this is long, so I want to line this up and press it with my finger as I go, so I can get all my letters down where they need to be, and just press on them and have that down. Yes, these bottles are great, and I ordered them off of Amazon. I think there was like 10 bottles in there for $12.50. So I've given some away so that people can have them. Now what I did with this is going to go onto the side of my card right here. And we are going to do that with dimensionals. Now, I get carried away with the dimensionals on here, only because I want it to really stand up. So this is where I get rid of some of my, let me get the right scissors out. This is where I get rid of a lot. Well, let me get these out of the way. I don't want them. Thought I used all the bottom. What I'm going to do is take this long piece at the bottom, so as I can get it to come off, and I put that right down the center to hold that up really good. And there we've got all points held up. So make sure they're all in there good. Like I say, sometimes I go overkill on the dimensionals, but you know, if you do cost per dimensional, it's really very economic to make your cards stand up nice is, I think, important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up right at the edge of that blue. Whoa. And then I'm going to take my happy birthday and decide, do I want it up here? I really like it down here. So I need to pop this side up, not this side, just right here. So I'm going to turn that over and use some of these dots. Make sure if I need. And then I will take my glue and just add a little bit right over here so that sticks to the circle. I'm not going to put much, just enough to hold it down. As soon as I can get a hold of all of them. I'm going to bring this in. And I have my happy birthday on there, so I want to decorate it a little bit. And I use these classic matte dots on these two cards. So I am going to go ahead and use it on here too, because we have like the ivory color in that. So I'm going to use them. I'm just going to add makes a clicking noise, doesn't it? Sitting those right there. Okay, now I added a bow on those, but these are for a guy. So what did I do with my ribbon? Here it is. But I'm thinking maybe instead of a bow, I might just tie a knot. Well, that piece of ribbon's already cut. So I might just tie me a knot. When I do that, I don't want to tie it real tight. I want it to be more like that, flat. See how it's flat? Wrong scissors because those will not cut my ribbon. Oops. And I think I'll just put that right here with the glue dot. With the glue dot. And there we go. And I'm going to put a piece of this on the inside, 5 1/4 by 4. And I'll add a little fish piece down here at the bottom. I'll get my glass mat out, see if I get, or my mat real quick, see if I can get this all over the place. We'll just glue that into the inside of our card. And there's our little fish card. Yeah, I was thinking I really don't want a bow, but I wanted to fill in that spot because I think it's kind of big. So, and that ribbon goes great with the Misty Moonlight paper. So, anyway, that's the card. What do you think? No stamping. I struggle with masculine cards too. When I get ready to make them, I'm always thinking, "No, I need to look at ideas because they're just not in my head. I don't know. They're not as fun to make." I did cut out 2 more cards. I'm not going to, it's 10:30. We did a half hour. But what I cut was that the translucent florals, that's an online exclusive. I cut it out. I'll show you how pretty it is. In fact, I didn't know if I really was going to like it or not because it's also flowery and I like lots of different other stuff. But I'll end up showing you what I cut and showing you what this looks like. Does anybody have this? Men are boring. Well, I agree. But, you know, I'm like, where would we be without them? I guess. I don't know. Some people probably have a different idea than I do about that. Yeah, I thought that was a great card. And I mean, you could use any kind of masculine paper. I was trying to think of what come to mind to me with that. And we had that He's All that stamp set and stuff. And I thought, man, that would make, now this paper is the one I cut 6 inches. So see how much you got left over? That's why I said you could cut a lot of, I'm just going to put some of this on there to show you what this paper would look like, because they all look so different. And that right there. And I just cut and go. I mean, because in the big scheme of things, I don't think it really matters a whole lot. Because they all match, they're all out of the same group of paper. That means they're supposed to match. Although I do kind of think some of them doesn't quite go as well. But this one was all flowered on one side, and then it has these solids on the other side. So I'm going to put a solid next to that one. But it's real flowery. It'd make a really pretty, this would make a pretty Mother's Day card. Fingers are sticking. Yay. When you cut all these at the same time, you get them all stuck together. It's like, whoa. I wanted one of those darker green pieces in there. Whoops, that's why my mat's down. I just went off of the edge. And I think a lot of these papers, it's just like anything else, like the strips right here, it doesn't look like it's going to turn out and be the best card ever. But then you put together, when you cut them and get it a little bit smaller edge, that's there. So that's what that one looks like. Here's the card we made already. We did this one. So, and we did a masculine card. That came to me about 5 o'clock this morning when I couldn't go back to sleep. And so I am going to finish this card. And what I'll do then is if I finish this card, then I can do 2 cards. So I've already got the words cut out. All I got to do is cut out the circle. If I can get a hold of it again. I would try it with a different size circle, but since I got my paper cut 3 by 5, I figure I have to kind of leave it at that. I'm trying not to drop my machine. But yeah, if I decide I'm just going to go ahead and do this one, well, you know what? No, I don't need to cut those off at first. I can just do it this way. Just make sure I get that right there. That will cut it. And there again, I'm going to go through twice. Hear that big click? Looks a lot better when it's like that. And then I can just cut my little strips off And then I have this much, and that's why I said you can do like small circles or whatever with it. Or you could line those up and make a... I might try to design another card with those just to show no waste. I said I wasn't going to make the second card, but look at me. We're going good. But I got the words and everything cut out for this one, so it will go much faster. Okay, I think I might. Well, that card didn't fold straight. Much better. Much, much better. Let's see if we want... It doesn't look much better when it's like that. I'm going to trim it real quick. When all else fails, you give it a trim, right? It's what you do. It's what I do. Let's see how that would look. On that. I think I'm going to leave it plain. Okay, let's do some dots and go ahead and put my back dots back here. That way I have my... There we go. So I said these cards, you get some little half-inch pieces cut, you can go like gangbusters. And I know a lot of people don't like to mass produce, but I find it just as easy to go ahead and make a couple alike. Because, you know, the fact of the matter is whoever you're sending them to, you know, you're sending them to different people, so it doesn't matter if you're making more than... I'm going to do another happy birthday. No, I'll do feel better soon on this one. Now, the feel better soon, your letters are awfully narrow. You have more room on the birthday one. Add your glue. Especially right up there. But just so you get some to hold the pieces down. And on the ends. It's good. And try not to get yourself all gluey. Well, there's glue on the tip of my bottle. That doesn't make it any easier. There we go. So I just start up here. If I can get that to quit moving on me so I can get my finger on it. And then just bring that down as you go. And do your feel better soon. And then I can just add that right here. So with this one, I have to use the smaller dots. I find it easier to use the smaller ones. And I'm going to Put one up here, just on the outer edges of this one to hold it up. See if I can get that to fit right there. Okay. Then I'll add some glue over it. Here, as I drop my glue bottle, I'd really like to stay down here and stamp all day, but I've been reading a really good book and I'm almost done with it, and I think I need to finish my book. Not enough hours in the day. Okay, let's do Feel Better Soon. Right there, and I brought out 2 ribbons. I got this Lemon Lime Twist, which that color is in there. And then I have, and I haven't even opened this, and it's Pretty Peacock, and that's also a color in the leaves. Let's see which ones we like the best. I have that one or this one. I think I like the darker. What do y'all think? What am I reading? It's called the Fifth Avenue, I don't know, Fifth Avenue something Society. It's really good. Yeah, I've got the Lemon Lime Twist, which is the lighter green. So what do you guys think? I'll make a bow out of each. Maybe that'll help. I'm gonna get a curvy bow. I hate when my bows curve. I don't like curvy bows. Try it again. It's one thing about little ribbon. It'll curve on you faster than anything. Especially when you want them to lay really flat. There we go. Let's cut that and see what that looks like. I might like it. It's not a color I use all the time. Put it there. Put it there, put it there. Oh, I kind of like that. It brightens it up. Glue dot. When you get this little ribbon, you want to roll your glue dot onto it so it doesn't show on the front. Trim it again. And then I got little iridescent pearls, which will make it look a little fancy. I have a fancy card. And I'm going to use the bigger ones. If I can get a hold of them. Just because, since the card is undimensionals, the bigger ones will not be so bulky looking. So I'm going to use those. So there we go. Yep, fancy makes it prettier. So there we go. That's that card. So see how fast? It took about 20 minutes to make that one with decisions and talking. So that's not bad. So that's all I have for you guys today, girls. No stamping. Can you believe that? No stamping. Still um kind of boggles my mind. I didn't tell you guys, I'm putting together a class to go, and I'm using the stamp set Let's Chat. And people that I've told that I was doing that, they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, that little telephone. I think it's really, really cute." So you guys will be surprised to see that. I'm gonna have it ready I'm gonna have it ready by this weekend, but I will be doing it, finishing it up this week. That's one of my to-go things to do. I'm going to leave my table a mess, and I'm going to make this other card that looks like this sometime today because it's all spread out right here. So I'm going to mail these two cards out today. So I'm going to pick two winners when I go back over to the Facebook group. Everybody's name, even though I see Facebook users here, it will tell me who those people are. So that'll be nice. Karen, that's what I've been trying to do is make my cards in set. Well, actually, I've been trying to do 4. And the reason being is because if I cut 2 card bases, I'll just take 2 sheets, cut 4 card bases, and then go from there. And that because I will be setting back up at the farm market that I set up at, which is going to be in end of March. So I got to get busy. So like these cards, I'll go ahead and make a few more of each one, and birthdays and feel betters, and I don't know what the other saying. One of the other sayings is celebrate, and then the other one is because I really liked using these. And the other one is you're too kind is what it says. So they're all cute cards. I mean cute sayings. So and then they have all these extra little pieces that you can use if you want. So I'm gonna take advantage and use some of my dies. So anyway, girls, I'm going to get off of here and maybe get some other stuff done after I pick my winners of my card. And I hope you guys have a good day, and hope you guys make some of these because they're fast and quick. And if you don't have the Deckled dies, as long as you got a big like circle die or take a plate and draw a circle, you can use those to do that. I will. I'm going to finish my book today, and it's got a long name to it, and that's why I never can remember it. It's by a lady named Rachel Houck. I do know that. And so I found another book by her, and I like this one really well. So I thought, well, when I like an author, I try to read what they have. So already got me like 2 more books ready to go. So you guys have a great day, and I will see you all later. Happy stamping!